Hello guys and welcome to Laravel 7 tutorials. So guys, in the previous videos we successfully implemented the CRUD functionality for tags using Ajax, data tables and Suite Alert. And guys, in this video we are going to implement two pages related to blog, one for blog listing and the other one for, let's say, creating a blog. And for that we are going to create a form from scratch. Okay, so guys, in this video we are not going to cover any CRUD operation related to blogs. Reason is we need to create two pages for blogs and then we have to create a form and then we need to implement the Ckeditor and this Select2. Okay, and in the next video we are going to implement the relationship between the blogs, you can say blogs and tags, and once again blogs with categories. Okay, but we will discuss that later in the next video. So for now my aim is we need to create two pages related to blog. So let's do that, and first of all I want to mark these two as completed. So let's do that first. Completed. Okay, and I will come down right here, completed. That's it. Okay, now let's move to our application. Okay, first of all I will move to git bash. Let's access our project, cdc xampp htdocs, and blogging is our project name. Okay, let's clear this screen first and let's run our project, php artisan sub. Okay, let's move to Google now. Our project is up and running. Okay, now let's log in. All about Laravel, 1234 login. And now first of all we don't have any specific link related to blog, so let's create one first of all. Okay, let's move to Sublime resources. Remember we are working on the backend, so we need to access the backend right here, layout and sidebar. Okay, and guys, I want to create an li, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it from right here to this li. Okay, from this hr to li, copy, one line space, that's it. Let's align our code. Okay, now let's rename it to blogs. Okay, and let's put a URL which we haven't created yet, but we are going to. So let's put blogs here. Okay, we are going to create this one. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now guys, let's change the icon for this tags and blogs. Okay, because this C related or cuttlefish related font awesome is related to categories. Okay, so let's change that for this tags first. Let's do that. Okay, so the classes would be, let's say, fa minus tags. Okay, and the other one would be, let's say, let's remove this one, and this is the most relevant font awesome icon that I found for the blog, so I'm going to implement that. FAS, FA minus FW, and FA minus tables, or hyphens, you can say, not minus. Okay, okay, let's see them. Refresh. Okay, so I made a mistake. Let's recap it. Okay, not tables but table. Yeah, let's refresh. Okay, so this is the blogs related icon and this is the tags related icon. If you want to change, you can just simply go to the Font Awesome website and get the Font Awesome icon that you want. Okay, so now let's say if I click this one, nothing happens, not found. Why? We didn't create, or we don't have a route for this blogs. Okay, so let's create that, and for that we need a controller. Let me show you. First on the web.php, right here let's put a comment. Okay, because we are starting a new CRUD here. Let's say blog CRUD. That's it. Route, and that's what I was talking about. Let's say I'm going to call blogs. Okay, the URL which we defined right here. Okay, but we don't have a controller to call the view. We can use the closure function, but in this case we need to call this from a controller. Sorry guys, 1 minute. Sorry guys, sorry for that. And so for this URL we need a controller so that we can return our view. Okay, so let's create that first, but first of all I'm going to comment it out. Why? Reason is, if it's not commented, you will not be able to implement the migration. Okay, it will give us an error. Okay, so let's create a model and migration. PHP artisan make model name is, let's say, blog, and minus migration minus m flag for migration. Okay, so that's created. Now let's create the controller. PHP artisan make controller name is going to be blog controller, as simple as that. Okay, so once it's done, let's start our project once again. PHP artisan sub. We are not going to create or migrate this table for now because we need to implement the relationship, as I said in the beginning of this video. So we are going to do that later. Okay, we just needed the controller, but I thought to implement model, migration and controller at the same time. Okay, so let's run our project. Okay guys, now what we can do is, our project is up and running, so let's call the controller blog controller, and let's say index method. What do you say? Okay, let's open blog controller right here, and let's remove this comment. Okay, let's provide some space right here. Let's create a function, but first of all I'm going to put a comment, return view blog listing view. Okay, so this view is related to list all the blogs that we have. Okay, just keep that in mind. Public function and index method name. Yeah, let's return the view, and in this case we don't have a view, so let's create one. Okay, we can simply do that by copying this one. Let me show you this category or text. So in this case let's do it with the text. So I'm in the text blade right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Control A to copy everything, and let's create a view inside this backend. Okay, not in the subfolders but inside this backend folder. Okay, new, paste, save. Let's name it blogs.blade.php. Okay, let's start from the top and let's change our view, like heading, title, etc. So blogging is our application name, and the page is, let's say, blogs or blog you can say, so you can write whatever you like. Okay, let's move down right here. Once again blogs. Okay, and once again right here, yeah, blogs, and in this case we are not going to use a modal, so I'm going to remove it from right here. Okay, instead we are going to pass it as an anchor or link, you can say. Add, in this case, blog. Okay, and let's put a URL. We are going to create this URL for this form, let's say create blog. Okay, so let's define that first. Let's say create blog, and let's put a slash right here. That's it. Let's put a space. That's it. Okay guys, now table ID would be, in this case, let's say blogs. Okay, but let's move down right here. We don't need this modal related to tags. Okay, and we are not going to use any modal for blogs. Okay, the reason is we are going to have some huge amount of data. Okay, and we want to learn, let's say, Laravel post requests. That's why in this case I'm going to ignore the Ajax. Okay guys, so we are going to use the blogs related JS, but we are not going to use it for now because we are working with the forms and pages. So I'm just going to rename it to blogs or blog.js. Okay, but we are not going to use it, so I'm going to comment it for now. That's it, as simple as that. Okay, so everything is aligned. Let's view our page, F5. Let's click this blog. Okay, so we have an error. Let's see, where do we have it? Right here. This is related to something. Let's check. Response.php, trying string or null, object given called in. Okay, let's see this error. Framework. Okay, so I can't see anything related here. Let's move to code. Okay, blogs, everything is fine. Oops, we are not calling a view, so this could be the reason. Yeah, okay, let's call a view, and that is related to, let's say, backend folder. So let's define backend, and the blade name is, let's say, blogs. Okay, let's try it now. Okay, so error is gone, and right here we have our blogs page. Okay, so now what we need to do, whenever we are going to click on this link, we are going to be redirected to a new page where we can create a blog. So let's implement that page now. Okay, so for that I will just copy everything from this blogs blade, Control A, and let's create a new blade once again inside this backend, new file, paste everything, and let's name it create blog.blade.php. okay, so now let's make some changes. Title would be, let's say, create blog. Let's move down right here. I don't want this heading. Let's say, okay, blogs, and in this case it should be create blog. Okay, and we don't need this table right here, so I'm going to remove it. But first let me show you this page. Okay, first let's call this page so you know what we are doing right here. Okay, so for that we need a route, get and create blog. Remember that we defined the URL on this anchor right here. Let me show you this one. So we are calling this link, we are hitting, in this case we are hitting this route. Okay, so now once again blog controller @ let's say create blog view. Okay, we can name it like this because no one is going to see what's happening right here. Okay, so it's private, let's say, not private, but no front-end user will be able to see this. Okay, he is only going to see the URL right here. Let me show you this one. See, create blog. Okay, so let's complete this, and now let's move here. I'm going to put a comment. Comment would be, let's say, return, not like that, return create blog view. Okay, so that makes the difference right here. Public function, and function name is create blog view, no arguments, return view, once again backend, and blade name is create blog. That's it, it should work. Okay, let's refresh. Let's move to add blog. Okay, so now we are able to see a new page. This is a create blog page right here. You can see the title is changed, the heading is changed. Okay, so in this case we don't need this or this anchor. So what I'm going to do is, first let's remove that. Okay, this is right here. Yes, actually we can remove this div. Let's do that. Okay. Okay guys, now I don't even want this table because we are going to have a form inside this card. So let's do that. Let's remove this table from right here. Okay, and that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so now let's review our page. Okay guys, so now let me I don't think I saved the file. Control S, blogs blade. Oops, I removed everything from the blogs blade, so I'm going to revert it. Sorry guys. Okay, blogs, and I'm going to comment it. That's it, so we don't break anything. And let's move right here. We don't need this div once again. Okay, and we don't need this table, as I said. Okay, and we don't need this heading, this one exactly. Now let's check our view once again. Okay, so this is our create blog page, and let's view this blog so that we know we didn't break anything. Okay, right here it is working perfectly fine. Let's move to add blog, and right here. Okay, so we are going to create a form inside this div, so let's start that guys. And for that we need some rows and some basically some divs to add. Okay, let's do that. Okay, right here div, let's give a space right here, div class row. Okay, and let's close this right here, and let's create the column size with the help of div class col minus on Excel, let's say I want it to be of 6 columns or whatever you say. No, sorry, we need that for the let's say input field size, so that should be of, let's say, 12 column for here. Excel minus 12 call, and for large screen let's say 8. Okay, now let's close this div as well. Okay, let's let's align this. Okay, so it looks good right now. What we can do right here is we are having a card shadow MB4, and let's see what we can do. We are going to create a form right here in this card body. Let's do that, not div but form. Okay, let's put something like the value, so our form is ready. Action would be, let's say, let's inverse the request that we had right here for create block. So in this case, let's call it block create or something like that. It's your choice. Okay, but if you are following me, I'm going to write block create, as simple as that. Okay, method would be, let's say, post. Okay, and ink type would be, let's say, multi-part slash form hyphen data. Okay, and let's see if we can pass the ID. We don't need to, but in this case, if we want to use the post request, so we need to pass the CSRF token. Okay, it's right here. Okay guys, so everything is aligned up till now. So let's create the form rows so that we can create our input fields. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a div with class form minus row. Let's close this. Okay, and let's use div class call minus access, or Excel should be on Excel side should be 6 columns. Okay, call minus LG, let's say again 6, call minus MD, let's say once again 6, and call minus SM on small screens 12. Okay, let's close this. Okay, so everything is aligned. Okay, now what we need to do is we need a label for, let's say, title, and let's put a label of blog title. Yeah, good enough. Okay, let's create an input field, and this should be text, and name should be, let's say, title, as simple as that, and ID would be once again title, let's say, in case if we need it. Okay, class would be form minus control or form hyphen control. Okay, and let's say value would be nothing, because we are going to need this value on the edit blog page. Okay, so let's remove that for let's use that empty value for now. Okay, placeholder would be, let's say, blog title, my first blog. Okay, and let it be a required field. That's it. Okay, now I need an error span or small element, so I'm going to create that small and let's say class text minus danger. That's it. Okay, so I will put something right here so that you can see that this is related to error here. Okay guys, let's move forward. Let's refresh. Okay, so now you can see we have an input field of 6 column. Basically this card has total of 12 column. We created that. Okay, and then for this input field we are using 6 columns on large screen or extra large. In this case my screen size is extra large. Okay, so we are using that, and see, this is row is related to 12 column, and of that 12 column we are using 6 right here. Okay, so that's it. And now let's align this label and error so that it is aligned with the starting of the input field. So let's do that. For that, what I'm going to do is let's apply a class ml-1 for now. We can deal with it later as well. ml-1 for now. Okay, so now it looks aligned. Okay, now let's create another field, and for that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this exact div right here, one line space. That's it. Okay, so the second field would be in this case URL. As I said, our blogging system is going to be SEO friendly. Okay, so we are going to define the URL of our blog, of each blog, so that it is SEO friendly. Okay, let's put a name, should be, let's say, URL, and ID once again URL, and anything else. Okay, right here the URL should be something like that to make it SEO friendly. My first ever blog. See, okay, or let's assign the same name, my first blog. Okay, so this is going to be a URL and it is going to be a unique field. Okay, for each blog. Okay, let's remove this error because this was just for the testing or demo purpose, so that I can show you the errors. Right here we have our blogging title URL. Now comes another field, and that would be inside another div form element. If you want to, you can process the same div in the same form group or form row, but I'm not going to do that. I need some spacing because this form is going to be huge. Sorry, not cut. Control Z, copy right here. Let's paste it just below this right here. Okay, so in this case we are going to create the select field for categories. Okay, remember that each blog relates to a specific category, so we are going to pass all the categories right here, and user is going to select one of them. Okay, so for that we need the select field. Okay, the title, let's say title for category, and let's say right here select category, label select category. Okay, let's move forward. No, I don't need this. In this case I don't need the input field. So what I'm going to do is, let's do select, and class would be, let's say, form control. Let's say ID would be category, and name would be once again category. If we need any other field or any other form attribute, we can do that later as well, but for now this looks fine. So I'm going to create some options, and let's say first option is going to be select category, which is not going to be a selectable field. Okay, because we are not going to pass, when we are going to implement it, we are not going to pass any value in this, so that it is not selectable. Okay, option once again, let's say category whatever, let's say health related category, and sorry guys, yeah, this is just for the demo purpose, so that you can get the idea of what we are going to do in the next videos programming. Okay, let's do that for now, and looks fine. Let's refresh. Okay, so here we have the select category field selected, that's it. Okay, so now let's change this one as well. Actually I can copy everything from right here till here, copy, and let's make our changes. As simple as that. First of all, this is going to be related to tags, so I'm going to define it, and right here label would be select tags. Okay, why select tags right here? Because each blog can have multiple tags, best blog, etc, etc, new blog, whatever you can say. Okay, so that's why select tags and not tag. Okay, so right here ID would be tags, and ID sorry, it is going to be an array, and tags once again array, that's it. In this case, let's say select tags. Right here let's put a tag new blog, and let's say best blog, or let's get another option just for the demo. Okay, and let's move, let's say blogging. Okay, so nice and shiny. Okay, so as I said guys, that this from this select box we are going to select multiple. If you want to, we can have one selection as well, but we can select multiple. Like let's say if I want to select these three, so this select tag does not provide that selection for multiple options. Okay, so what we are going to do, let's say if we want to use HTML element, what you have to do is simply assign the multiple right here, that's it. refresh, and now this should be this is basically select multiple. So what, let's say if I want to select multiple, what I am going to do is hold the control, select this one, select this one, select this one. That's it. All are selected and they are going to be passed as an array. Okay, so this looks a bit ugly, so I'm not going to use it. Instead we are going to use Select2 library. Okay, you are going to love it guys. Okay, let's move back, and I'm going to just, for now I'm just going to remove this multiple and let's keep it that way. Okay, next task is we need to upload the image because our blog is going to contain an image as well. So let's do that. That's it. Okay, and let's say in this case label would be upload image. Okay, let's define this label for image. Okay, form control, and in this case we don't need this select, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, input type file, name would be, let's say as simple as that, image, and ID would be once again image, and we don't need the placeholder value etc, but we can do is required, and let's pass the class form minus control. Okay, so let's create another field because meta tags of image, not meta tags of pages and all text of images all are related to SEO. So we are going to create another field that is related to image, this image alternate text. Okay, so that we can pass it. Okay guys, so let's create that alt text field right here. For that I'm going to pass alt image alt, let's say underscore alt, and let's say right here image alt text. Okay, let's create an input field, input type, let's say text, as simple as that, and name would be, let's say alt image alt, image underscore alt, and name, and let's say ID image alt, once again placeholder, let's say my home image. Okay, this can be an alternate text of an image. Okay, let's pass the value empty, and let's say required, it is going to be a required field. That's it guys. Yeah, I think so. If I'm missing anything we can do that later as well. Okay, okay guys, let's view our form for now. Okay, so yeah, I'm missing a class clearly. Okay, class form control. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, now if you want to use this input field for file you can, but I'm going to use another one which is more interesting. So let's define that, and for that what we need to do is we need to change this class from control to form control minus or hyphen file. Okay, and right here this looks much better, so I'm going to use it. Okay, now next field is related to page meta text. Okay, so I'm going to create one, copy, and let's paste it right here. This one, let's remove this image one. Okay, so we don't have anything else right here. Okay, so let's make some changes, meta, and let's say meta text, or let's say meta, yeah, meta text would be fine. Okay, so this should be of 12 column on every screen. 12. Why? Because this is going to contain maybe 255 characters or 400, something like that. So we are going to implement it that way that we have 12 columns for this input field. Okay, okay, next name would be, let's say meta, ID would be meta, and let's say for example whatever you want to define in right here you can. Let's say how to implement auth in Laravel 7. This is just an example. Okay, you are going to see these type of meta tags on website. This is related to SEO. Why? Because Google is efficient and its SEO is basically search engine is based on how basically the search engine works. Like, let's say, get the data from the title or the description, if not get it from the meta. Basically it searches and matches from the specific field, the HTML markup, meta tags and title, etc. So this is all necessary, the titles of your right here of your page, and the meta, which you are not able to see, but it is really important because it is related to search engine. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay guys, let's move on, and for that I needed a 12 column, and let's view this. Okay, nice and shining. And guys, now we need a text area field, so let's implement that. Okay, I'm going to use it right here. Let's copy this so we don't have to write much of code. Okay, and in this case it is going to be a text area. So let's define that text area, class form control, and let's say any other class, let's say name, short description, and ID would be once again short description. Okay, and right here we need to change this label to short description. Okay, and meta from this to short description, this one. Okay, so what is this short description related to? Basically short descriptions contains the summarization of our blog description. Okay, so we are going to have it right here. Okay, short description, let's correct it. Okay, let's view it on the front end. Okay, now if you want to increase the rows right here, so what you can do is, let's say rows 5, okay, or 10, whatever you like, so that you don't have to drag it down or scroll up and down. Okay, so now this is this looks great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another description field. Okay, and that is going to be related to the description, as simple as that. Okay, and we are going to have huge amount of data inside of that description, because we are going to implement a Ckeditor for this. Okay, so I don't need these rows for this one. Why? Because as I said, we are going to use a Ckeditor for this one. Let's refresh. Okay, so now you can see the description, and we need one more field that will be related to, let's say, if we want to publish our blog or not. Okay, so let's do that. Div class form minus check minus not minus, let's say MB minus 2 margin bottom 2, and let's create a close this div. Sorry guys, sorry for the silly mistake. Okay, now we need the input type, and let's say in this phase check box. Okay, and not right here, and name would be active, ID would be once again active, and class, let's say form control. Okay, anything else? I don't, yeah, we need it to be checked by default. Okay, and now let's create a label for active. Okay, and we need another class for this one, form minus check minus input. Okay, and we need to put a label, sorry guys, right here, publish blog. Let's remove this space, publish blog. Yeah, okay, let's refresh. Okay, so oops, I think I messed up with something right here with some class div form check mb2, and let's say type would be checkbox, and form control, yeah, input here, it should be right here, and right here it should be label. Sorry for the silly mistake, minus label. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, now it looks way better, and our form is right here, so let's fix this first. Okay, MB, I don't see anything missing. But fixed it right here. MB2, let's review this form. MB2, name active, check label. Oh, right here, sorry guys, check form, check input. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, so now it is aligned right here. Okay, so that's it. And why do we need this field? Let's say if admin is going to create a block, so what he can do is simply he don't need to click right here and it will be automatically published. But let's say if admin wants to hold a specific block, what he can do is simply unclick this or uncheck this, and that's it. Sorry, uncheck, not unclick. Okay guys, uncheck it and that's it. The block will be all on hold and we are going to place it inside the pending blocks, etc. Okay guys, so this field is related to admin and normal user is not going to have this field, because whenever user is going to, a normal or basic user is going to create a block, it will be right here in the dashboard in the, let's say, pending blocks, waiting for approval, and once admin is going to view that specific block and approve it, it is going to be published. Okay, so we are going to put there that functionality as well. Okay guys, so I hope you guys you will like this. Okay, so guys, what do we need right now is, let's create a link right here. So let's say if I am right here in the blocks and I click add block, and now let's say I don't want to create a block but I want to move back to the block listing. So let's create a link right here as well. So let's do that. I will move up right here. Let's create a anchor and let's say URL would be, let's hit the same URL of blogs right here /blogs. Okay, and let's say classes would be btn minus dark, btn minus sm, and float minus right. Okay, let's put a text right here, closed anchor tag, and let's put a text of return to blogs. Let's review that. Okay, return to blogs, and now we are back to blog listing page. Let's move to add blog. Now what we need to do is we need to implement a select2 option. Okay, so let's do that. I will move to right here on a new tab. Let's search for select2 right here. First link, I will provide the link in the description, don't you worry guys. Okay, so let's move. First let me show you what we can do with this select2. Okay, this is the basic usage for a single input field. Okay, but in this case we want it for a multiple selection. Okay, so let's check this out. Multi select boxes, Alaska, Hawaii, and let's say California right here. So if we want to cancel it, we can simply, so this is how we are going to put our selection of select2. Okay, so let's install that. I hope you guys like this. Okay, let's copy the link. This is CDN. If you have an internet connection, it is going to work perfectly fine, and if not, you will not be able to see any effects. Okay, but if you are watching this video, it is a must answer there that you have an internet. Okay, let's put a style right here. Why? Because we are not going to use select2 on every page. Okay guys, it makes sense. Okay, let's copy the JS, copy, and let's paste it right here in this script section. That's it. And now for the usage, what we can do is we can simply use the basic usage right here, as you can see this one, and defining it with the document ready function, etc. But I want this to be able, let's say I want this field with the placeholder functionality. So I will move to right here. Why? Let me show you with an example. Right here guys, this is going to be the placeholder, and in this case this select category is the placeholder, okay, which is not going to be a selectable. Once we pass the value for these fields, this field is going to be, let's say if you select it and you are going to submit your form, we are not going to perform any basically we are going to face a validation issue, because this is not a required field, but instead we are using it as a placeholder. And one thing right here, we need to create a create button, guys. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, let's do that first. Let's implement this select2. Let's complete that. Okay, so for that purpose right here, let's say, oops, my internet connection is gone. Oops, so now it's working. Sorry guys, sorry for this. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you that this placeholder is related to this right here, select tags. Okay, because when we are using select2, I'm talking with the help of experience, so just keep that in mind. Let's say if you want to define a placeholder with the help of this field right here without an option, to like this, okay, option without a value, we can do that, but you are going to face some issues regarding using it with the select2. So just keep that in mind and follow the same procedure. If you want a placeholder, all you need to do is simply call it like this right here. Okay, copy, and basically it will interrupt us while we are going to create or update in the update functionality most of the time. So for that, first of all, we need a script, Control X. Let's create that script and let's put it right here. We are going to have all these JavaScript in this blogs, create blog related JS, or yeah, we can do that. Let's create, we will create that later. Okay, just for now stick with it. Okay, so let's create, let's say we want to hit a tags class. Okay, and the placeholder should be select tags, as I said. Okay, nice and simple. For that to work properly, what we need is, let's put a multiple, and let's put a class right here, tags. Okay, because I don't want to use the ID because we are using an array. Okay, so that's the whole point. Okay guys, so now if you see right here, this is a select2 element and select2 element, yes, we can say that. Okay, but in this case we don't need this option. Okay, I told you you are going to face some issue while you are going to create or update or fetch the record and show it in the select2. So you are going to face some issue and real issue, so we don't need that right here. Okay, because you will not be able to show it in this field. Okay, let's put a refresh right here. You can see the placeholder select tags. This is because of this right here. Okay, now let's say best blog, blogging, let's say cancel, or let's say clear. That's it. Now everything is working perfectly fine. Okay, now the other thing we need is right here, we need to use a Ckeditor. So let's do that. Ckeditor 5CDN right here. I will provide, once again I will provide the link in the description of the video. Okay, so this is related to Ckeditor 4. I will scroll down right here, Ckeditor 5. Let's use the CDN once again, copy the script and let's paste it right here. Okay, and now what we need to do is we can simply call this script. I'm just going to copy this script related. Okay, and let's call it right here inside of this. Let's put a space so we know where it is ending. Let's align this and let's put a Ckeditor related query right here. That's it. Okay, so script is loaded right here, and we just need to pass the ID of the text area or div on which we want to implement the Ckeditor. So I'm going to copy this ID of description, place it right here. That's it. Let's put a refresh right here. Okay, so now you are able to see description. So sometimes you are going to see it like this without having some height. So what we can do for the height is simply let's do the inspect, and let me show you the way. Right here in the middle of the box right here, let's click inspect. Okay, and I'm just going to use this one. See, once again I will show you. Let me close this once again. Right here, click here, inspect. Okay, so we are landed right here, in this area. So what we need is right here, we need this class. That's it. Copy. Okay, and I will move to right here. If you were unable to see this the class name, so you can see it right here as well. Okay, let's define the style tags right here. Let's define the class. Control V, sorry guys. Okay, let's define the class name is exactly like this, and let's say height of 350 pixel would be enough for now. Okay, refresh, and now you can see the effect right here. Okay, if you want to increase the height, you can, it's totally up to you, but I wanted it to be of 350. Why? So that we can see some data right here, or else what we are going to do is we need to scroll up and down. Okay, just keep that in mind guys. Now everything is working perfectly fine. Now we need to create a button. Let's do that, okay, quickly, so we can wrap our video. Okay, let's put a button right here just below this button, and let's say button type would be submit, and class would be, let's say btn minus primary, or success we can say, but let's say, yeah, success, let's say. Okay, and let's say button name would be, let's say, create the value actually. Okay, yeah, right here you can see the button. And if you want to have a large button, what you can do is you can simply assign the class btn minus block. Okay, and the button will be on whole of this row, like of 12 columns. The button will be created with 12 columns right here. Okay, so in my case I don't want that, so that's it. Let's remove that. Okay, so now everything looks fine, and our blog create page is complete right here. So in the next video we are going to implement the relation of blogs with the tags and categories, and we are going to implement the migration, and we are going to create the table. Then we are going to test our relationships of blogs with tags and categories. Once we test it and it is working perfectly fine, we are going to move to create blog functionality. Okay guys, so I hope you guys like this video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you, take care, and yes guys, be ready. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe because you have learned something really good right here, the Select2 and the description box. Okay guys, sorry, not the description box but the Ckeditor. Okay guys, see you next time, take care, and yes guys, be ready. Okay, take care.